What's cooking? Welcome to What's Cooking right here on City TV. My name is Apiorkor. We're still in the Christmas season, and so we're going to do something very special. Today, we stay on the African continent, but it's a very beautiful marriage between Ghana and South Africa. And when my guest joins me, you understand exactly why that is necessary. But we're making something like the Ghanaian Boflot, similar to that. It's a play on the South African Bunnychow. And then we'll be having that with some typical Ghanaian beef stew. Sounds very interesting, may sound strange to you, but I can assure you that when the man who is joining me on set gets into the kitchen, it's only deliciousness that can come out of all of this. Don't forget that this show is sponsored by Tasty Tom, Mufa Kakra, Na Ye Bebre. Taste of Spice, original Ghanaian spices, beautifully packaged, perfect for your Christmas meal. Go find it and use it. Indomie, it tastes great. And of course, BVS Butchery. They've got vegetables, meat, seafood, fresh fruit, you name it, a typical and authentic Ghanaian farm-to-table brand. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, we get cooking. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still What's Cooking right here on City TV. My name is Apiorkor. Now, let me just tell you once again, if you missed it. Today, we're going to see how two beautiful African worlds can come together in the culinary arts, all right? So we've got a fusion of South African and Ghanaian, and it's being done in the most beautiful and interesting way you can ever imagine. So I'm about to introduce my guest. You know, you have a professional chef in the kitchen, you shake a little, especially one who's as experienced and as accomplished as the chef I'm about to introduce. He's no stranger to City TV. You can catch him every now and then on Breakfast Daily, our morning show here on the station. So no, he's not a stranger, but I don't think you've seen him play with food the way he does for it to turn into a beautiful presentation on the table, which you would definitely enjoy when you eat it. And so it is my singular pleasure to invite and to introduce to you, if you haven't seen him or experienced what he does before, Chef Pieter Malan. He's the chief executive chef of the group chief chef actually of Fiesta Hotels and Residences. And look, you need to look. Look. Let me not talk plenty. When you even see him do it, you wish you were here. Chef Pieter, you're welcome.
My friend, thank you
for
so
coming
much.
through.
How are you?
Great to have you. I'm well.
Oh, my word. I was like, when you introducing me, I'm
yes,
like, calm down.
It's you. But Chef, I mean, you are originally from South Africa.
Yes, my friend.
And I remember that the very first time we spoke, you mentioned that this was your first time in Ghana. Is that right?
Absolutely.
But you've been here for how long now?
It's going for 10 months now. So
and you've already come up with ways to fuse home with your new home.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was so surprised with West African flavors. I mean, coming from South Africa, and I mean, I know you said you've been to South Africa, and we have some of the best restaurants in the world in SA. So we kind of a little bit like blessed and think that South Africa knows everything about food. And when I got to West Africa, I was like, oh, this is a brand new flavor. There's so much different stuff. I mean, the tropical influence on food here is just amazing, and stuff like plantains. We don't know what's plantains in South Africa.
Yeah, I always find that strange because when you think of plantain, you think that everyone on the continent would have experienced it, would have
Absolutely.
eaten it before.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
And no, we don't know at all. When I travel back home, I always take plantain chips home now. And my kids just love it. They're like, Daddy, please bring us some plantain chips with. So, and then also
You should
cocoa.
make some for them. I'm
Yes.
sure you have a recipe already. Maybe we need to do that another
Oh,
time.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
Africa is beautiful. I mean, if we just think about the amount of flavors that we have in this continent, we just need to start stepping up, showcasing it more to the world. And I've just realized it when I was here now in West Africa and Ghana. I'm like, oh, the world don't know what we know. We know flavor. Yeah.
We know flavor. We know. Thank you for saying that, Chef. It's something that I strongly believe in, and that's why I'm a big fan of what you do.
Thank you so much.
So we're making something very interesting today,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, when I saw the name, you described it as Boflot with Ghanaian beef stew. And I thought, oh my gosh, is it a sweet Boflot? Is it a
Yes,
savory
yes.
one? So it's a sweet Boflot.
It's a sweet one, a little bit of sweetness to it. It's almost very similar to the amagwinya that you get in South Africa. So they basically brother and sister. I think the only difference here is that we nutmeg is added to the recipe, where in South Africa we don't add nutmeg to it. But it's also a typical street food that you'll buy in the mornings when you're passing
Just
to
like
work.
we have here.
Absolutely. So, and then one of the biggest things that when you go to South Africa, you must try a bunnychow. So a bunnychow, normally traditionally a half loaf or quarter loaf of bread, just all the inside took out, and then have this very like flavorful gravy curry inside. Normally lamb, or you can do goat, chicken, any of those type of meats, and it's just a messy comfort food that anyone needs to try when you go to SA. And I was like thinking about this. I'm like,
It's like an African pizza without the cheese, you know? Love it.
it's comfort food, African comfort food. And when I was thinking about this, I'm like, oh, the Ghanaian beef stew is absolutely fantastic. And it's such an interesting method in cooking it. When you first boil the meat to tenderness with the flavor profiles going into the broth, you cook the meat till it's soft, and then you only start with the frying process afterwards. That was very interesting to me. And when I started here and I realized this is the way that the Ghanaian stew is prepared, I was thinking that traditionally, well, out of a chef perspective and more like European training, that's something that people won't do. They will normally sear the meat first, and then you'll add the liquids.
Yeah.
And when I started tasting this and the process of almost reverse searing after boiling it, I was like, wow, this works, because what you're doing is you're actually sealing all the flavors into the meat, and then you're only searing it afterwards. So
It's
I love
brilliant.
Ghanaian
It's
stew.
I can tell.
I love it.
So let's get right into
Okay,
it.
100%.
So we have our ingredients here. Obviously, this is the almighty beef.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So
Is this flour?
this is flour.
Okay.
This is actually for a little bit of a garnish that we're gonna do.
Okay.
And while you're at home now, it's festive season. The one thing that I'm always I'm pro on what can we reuse and how can we use it again.
Very
so if
important.
you have any Christmas leftovers, there's maybe a little bit of chicken left, or do an alteration of this with the chicken, or even if you have some lamb left from Christmas Day, you can use this. But
Or
this
we
is
can use
gonna
the Christmas goods.
Oh, absolutely, Christmas goat. So this is going to be lastly, but I'm just going to start marinating this. We just have some freshly sliced onions. We call it red onions in South Africa. It
Same
was-
here.
Yeah.
Red onions. Yeah.
It was so funny when I got.
Even though they're
got here.
purple.
Yes, when they're purple. when I was referring to everybody, I said, please bring me a red onion. Then they're like, no, there's no red onions.
It's just onions.
Yeah, so you are blessed with this red onions here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just add some soda water. Or
Soda water.
club soda,
Okay.
any soda water that you can get.
Okay.
You can, if you want to add a little bit of sweetness, you can do lemonade or Sprite.
Okay.
And we're just going to leave this on the side
Okay.
to marinate
That's
in that soda
interesting.
water. And we're going to do that with the flour a little bit later. And I'm
Okay,
going to
so
show
this
you
is wheat flour.
normal wheat
Normal
flour.
wheat flour that we use for bread.
Absolutely,
whatever.
normal
Okay.
wheat flour. We're going to add a little bit of spices to it, and we're going to make some crispy onion rings. And a lot of people always think when you do crispy onion rings, you need to do an egg wash or milk first. And what? This is a secret. Just sparkling water, flour. That's all you
That's
need.
it.
I'm going to show
Wow.
you now. And then we're going to,
Amazing.
in the meantime, start with our stew
Okay.
here in the
Okay,
back.
so we need to heat this
Yeah.
up. All
So-
right. So we want to use this burner.
This
the
one, yes.
right here in the front.
Please,
Okay.
there you go. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And then, obviously, the Ghanaian way, not doing any oil or anything in it. this beef goes in there.
Okay.
The beef was washed, and now we're just going to add some water to the mixture, not a lot. And obviously you can make more. We're just making a little bit less now because we want more of a saucy consistency because it's a bunnychow.
So we're basically steaming the beef.
We're steaming the beef now with the water. And then this, I'm absolutely in love with this.
Yes, the green pepper.
The green pepper, ginger, garlic mix.
So we have green pepper, the hot ones, the Scotch bonnets, the ones we find in Makola market, Medina market, Kijitia market, wherever you are in Ghana. And then garlic is in there as well, fresh garlic.
And ginger. That's it.
Oh yes.
And we're just going to give that some time.
That's a trifecta of taste.
Absolutely. So you must please coach me on this, because I'm thinking I know how to make this now, but I possibly...
No, we want to see how you do it.
Okay, all right.
We want to see how you do it.
In the meantime, we can switch on the oil, that side for our Boflot.
Okay.
That's it.
There we go.
There we go.
And is this burner okay, or we want a bigger one?
That's perfect. That's perfect. Let's give it on a...
So this is normal vegetable oil?
Normal vegetable oil.
Okay.
And this is our beautiful Boflot.
Yes.
So we made it earlier today, and we let it just proof.
You can see that.
And they are so light and fluffy. Just look at that. And we're just going to allow them to puff. I know the ones that they normally sell on the street is a little bit smaller. It's more like a snacky.
Yes.
And this
there
one
are actually two types. So there's the bready type, and then there's the one that's more of like a drop donut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, yeah. So but this is the magic.
Are they looking fine?
No, this is the magic.
So we know
so the recipe is the same as our Boflot, really.
Traditional one. Yeah. I mean, you can make it early in the morning, let it proof a bit, do your portions. And this, I think, what I wanted to do, if you watch some of the City TV breakfast inserts that I've done before, we do a lot of fancy stuff, and I bring smoke and all. And it's what people don't realize is a chef that likes those tricks of the trade, we actually like home cooking first.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. So today I just want it to be something out of the heart that you can enjoy with your family during Christmas.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So before you even go commercial with all the fancy things, a chef usually loves to cook from the heart.
Absolutely.
Well, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I always tell to people, if it wasn't for my grannies, I don't think I would be a chef today. I mean, like they are the ones that made me cook. And I have two grannies. Both of them, bless their souls, they're in heaven now. One granny was a preacher's wife, and she always had to host people.
In Ghana, also for mommy.
And the other granny was a farmer's wife. So the combination of the two was quite intense, because granny, that was the preacher's wife, she always had to host and do cakes and all this fine baking. And the farmer's wife, my granny from that side, she used to do this home cooking. Yeah. That's like from ground
straight from the farm too.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So they are my biggest inspiration, and that's why I say home cooking. First of all, always start with there, and then you start tweaking and bringing all the fancy elements into it.
That's so beautiful. And it's great to know. I'm just wondering, what was your farmer granny farming? What kinds of things was she cultivating?
Well, they had quite a big production farm in South Africa. So
do we need to stir this, or we just
leave it?
We don't disturb it.
At this point, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So my granny they were doing everything from grains. They had cattle. So it was a big commercial farm in South Africa, and there's also in South Africa something that we call the PLE. It's the Farm Ladies Association, in terms of baking and presenting food and how to do it. So she was always very critical on farm baking. So she would tell you that this cake is not good at all, and the PLE will mark you down on that. So the stew is going. Is that looking okay?
It is, and it's smelling great already.
Yes. I mean, you guys have the secret ingredient here, ginger.
Yeah, also it's the ginger that's doing that.
Ginger and garlic, the combination of it is just absolutely amazing. So we're just going to let it go a little bit tender, and then obviously we're going to remove the water. I normally keep the water on the side and then add the stock to it. And then put it back in with a little bit of oil, give it that color, and then the magic starts, a little bit of that tasty tom, you know.
The tasty tom is critical.
Yeah, and then fresh tomatoes, tomato puree, a little bit of onion, and we're just going to let that all marry together.
Okay,
and then
so then let me wash this, because I have a feeling that we could put
the water back in there.
back
Okay,
in here, the stock.
let
So
me go
wash
and
this off
see how
here.
our oil is coming here. And obviously the best way to test your oil is just to take a little piece. We don't want to break it.
Oh, so that's how you test it. So just a tiny bit.
Yeah, let's just see how is it coming. Okay. Oh yeah, that's
are
almost
we
done.
there? Almost there.
Almost there, almost there. And we can start with this Ghanaian Bunnychow today.
There you go. I like that.
Ghanaian Bunnychow. So you went to South Africa, right?
Yes, I did.
And
Many years
what
ago.
places did you enjoy?
So, I mean, first place was Joburg.
Oh yeah.
And what got me interested in South Africa was actually that I'm a very big fan of Darlene Matthee, who is a South African author.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I was very taken with how she wrote about the perspective of women as a colored woman. And this particular story, Fila's Child, tells a story of how a colored woman found an abandoned young white boy. Yes, love it. And how she raised him, and now when he grew up, he had to decide whether he was black or white in apartheid South Africa. And that got me very interested in South Africa. I love Darlene Matthee, love her. I even did a bit of that piece in my English thesis, my literature thesis, yes.
Amazing.
So yes, Johannesburg and then Durban, because I had friends.
Did you have a Bunnychow there?
I did. So I had friends from Durban, and that was my experience. But I really do need to find time and go and experience the full gamut of South Africa. But I was lucky that I got a lot of the home meals. Yes. You know, a lot of the home meals. Yeah.
I'm so surprised that you're a fan of Darlene Matthee.
I am.
You know, Darlene Matthee is our prescribed books in high school.
Oh, that explains it.
Kringe in die Bos and Fiesta
Second.
So you that's like you are forced to read Darlene Matthee.
No, I'm a huge fan.
Other part of Africa, and you're a fan.
Huge fan.
That's amazing.
She influenced. I write, and she influences my work a lot. Just the rawness, the truth, you know, the originality. Just telling the story as it is, not polishing it, not trying to offend anybody, but it's written beautifully, and you're getting the history, you're getting the culture. Yeah.
So do you have big elephants like in the story, Kringe in die Bos?
Yes.
In Ghana?
So you know, in Ghana, I think we have maybe a couple of elephants. Yeah. If you go up to Mole, there are a number of them. I don't know if you've had time to travel around. You need to. Yeah. So you go up north, go to the Mole National Park. It's a reservation. Elephants there, and they're wild elephants. Yes. The guides will tell you don't go within 50 meters when you see them, kind of thing.
Amazing.
But they're beautiful. And there's a lodge up there, Zaina Lodge. When you wake up in the morning, you find an elephant in front of your door, or
crazy.
or a warthog or something.
It feels like my backyard.
It actually is.
That's amazing.
It actually is.
So I think our water is boiled off quite a lot now.
So we can just transfer it.
Yes, let's take that little bit of excess of water that's here. And this is Ghanaian, because I've never seen this method of cooking a stew before. More European, maybe, some places in Europe, but definitely not South African. South African is normally you sear off the meat first before you do
and also not East African even.
Oh really? Wow.
No. You know, I haven't experienced that yet in East African cuisine. So.
And I mean, that makes the meat so tender. And all that flavor is in there now.
In there already.
It's such an amazing cooking method. I mean,
I love the way you talk about food.
You gotta add a little bit of oil to it because now you're browning it, right? Yeah. I'm pretending like I know Ghanaian food. You must tell me.
But this is such a quick way of doing it, because you know, when we're cooking in Ghanaian kitchens, you know, we probably would have steamed that meat for 10 hours. I'm just joking, but a longer time, you know, and then pour everything away, and then get into a whole new pan.
Yes.
Heat the oil. It has to be really deep.
So this is an express method.
Yeah, I love the way it's cooked.
This is a good quick method that you can do at home. And then
and the oil we added here is still our vegetable oil, normal vegetable oil.
I mean, you can do palm oil, you can do olive oil, any of those if you want to. So we're gonna just do. Let's see how they puff. There the babies go.
Ooh, look at that.
Let's do another baby. Let's see if they're gonna fit.
It's gorgeous.
Oh, there we go. So We call it amagwinya.
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 Yeah. That's
Amagwinya.
amagwinya or mafeti.
Mafeti. Okay,
Yeah.
mafeti I've heard.
Yeah. And a fatty, it's Afrikaans, my language, fat, oil, just it's fat cake.
Oh, so that's what it means.
Yeah.
Fat cake, literally.
Fat cake, that's it. Yeah.
All right, so it's just gorgeous. Although it's just floating, you know.
Is that where the name comes from?
I'm wondering. I'm just thinking about it. And I was going to ask you if you knew.
No, I know. I don't know. Like I know. Like they said. When I did research on this item, they said that the name, people started changing it to boat float.
Yes.
But it's actually Boflot.
Yeah, so I mean, there are so many theories about it. Some people say the original name is puff loaf.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there are all sorts of theories, but
just look at that.
But maybe puff float. I don't know.
I just wish my doctor is not watching today, because like I'm on a serious reduced calorie diet.
How can you be on a reduced calorie diet when you're giving us all this goodness on a daily basis?
It's only for today. It's Christmas, right? Let's put it on
yeah. I mean, anything is allowed during Christmas.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful.
So just do that there. Just look at that puff. Beautiful. Like little flower babies.
That's amazing.
And then, look at the sear on the meat.
The brown is there.
Brown is there, so we can start adding the tomato and the onions, right?
Okay. So we start off with the onions.
Onions.
Well, that's the Ghanaian way.
The Ghanaian way, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the onions.
That's going in there.
Okay.
I just think we're just going to give it a nice stir first. Oh, it's just smelling amazing here, right? Out of just doing this.
The two aromas together.
Or just to the babies.
Okay, so we want the onions to brown a little?
Yeah, we just want it to go in a little bit in there.
All right, so let's go for a break, where I'm sure when we come back we'll get deeper into the Ghanaian beef stew, and then we'll have quite a few of our Boflots, you know, floating in the oil and finding their way out of the pan onto the plate, getting ready for that brilliant Ghanaian Bunnychow. We'll be right back. This is Still What's Cooking. Welcome back. What's Cooking is still with you, and we're still in the kitchen today with Chef Pieter Malan. He's the group chief chef for Fiesta Hotels and Residences here in Ghana. And look, when I say that this man knows how to bring heart into the kitchen, you have no idea. And if you've missed already what we're doing, I'll just bring you up to speed. You're late, but I'll bring you up to speed. We're doing something of a Ghanaian Boflot with Ghanaian beef sauce. The whole meal put together as a spin on the South African Bunnychow, which is essentially, you know, bread. You scoop out the white from the bread, right? And then stuff it with a really nice sauce. And you just eat it. It's a comfort food, South African comfort food. And Chef Pieter is from South Africa. We've been talking quite a bit about what it was like growing up with his two grannies there, what that means and how that has influenced what he does today as a chef, as a culinary artist. So that's where we are. And we look at this. Just look at this.
They look like little babies.
Like, huh? And they're so quick. so quick. Look at this. So gorgeous. And so they're just a little sweet. I mean, very, of course, much like the Boflots we know that we have with Hausa cocoa or whatever it is. And then our sauce. Did you just add curry?
Just added a little bit of curry powder to it. Yeah.
Like, it just, oh Lord.
Give it that zing.
Love it, love it.
And we're going to do a little bit of chicken stock.
Okay, chicken stock.
And yeah, a little bit of chicken stock into that. Actually a great seasoning.
It is. So we can use the chicken bouillon cubes as well. Absolutely. If we want.
I mean, we're in West Africa.
Works. Yeah.
You need to have
the bouillon cubes are important.
And then a little bit of water. You can do. We're going to add that little bit of water that was left there. I just added a little bit of water just to get it going initially.
Okay. So then we add this later.
With the tomato puree at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. And just get that a little bit simmering.
It's amazing.
And there the flavors are just...
we have some chopped green pepper. When does that go in?
we're going to add that at the end.
At the end. Okay. So you don't want it to become too soft, too mushy.
I've noticed that's something that you guys like it in Ghana.
A bit of a crunch.
Yeah,
you like the crunch.
I know we like it a little bit cooked, a little bit more, but I get really used to it, and especially it's such a. I almost want to say I feel like it's almost a statement of luxury in Ghana. The pepper and the onion as a garnish on it.
It is.
Because every time you go in a restaurant or you go to someone, that's the way it gets garnished.
Very true.
And that's
even when you're doing your kinky, I mean, when you play, I'm sure you plate your kinky or your banku with your tilapia or your fried fish, whatever. Then the sliced onions, the sliced tomatoes, it's got to be on there.
It needs to be on there. So,
I like the way you put it. It's a statement of luxury.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. African luxury. My friend, I think we can add the tomato puree now.
Okay, here we go. So this is Tasty Tom. As we said, ufa kakra na ye bebre. That means in Chi, it means if you take a little, you get a lot. Basically, a little does a lot.
Okay, I'm not even going to try to say that.
Ufa kakra.
Mafa kakra. Yeah.
Na ye bebre.
Na ye bebre.
Yeah. It's not like my tree is on point, but so are we adding this now?
Yes, you can.
Okay, how much do we want?
I mean, I think let's do two nice heaped spoons.
So 2 large heaps.
When it is Tasty Tom.
So this is a tablespoon. It is Tasty Tom.
It is Tasty Tom. So you just need to put that in there.
I see you appreciate Tasty Tom.
Oh.
Yeah, my sponsors will be very happy that this world-renowned chef appreciates Tasty Tom.
Let me tell you, it's so much funny because the Tasty Tom jollof mix, the pre-made one, I take bags of it, heaps of it back to South Africa.
Are you kidding me?
And my friends there that been to West Africa, they're like, oh, bring us Tasty Tom jollof mix.
Wow.
Because
really?
Yes, because jollof it's absolutely, it's a luxurious dish in South Africa. We don't do rice there. We do maize. Pap, right? We eat pap.
Of course, pap.
So when they hear you come from Ghana, they're like, bring us some jollof mix.
Wow, wow. Okay, so Tasty Tom, you need to, fill Chef Pieter's suitcase for his next trip back home. You need to do that.
I mean, my doctor, let me tell you something. So I got here very healthy. And I went back on my first visit, very unhealthy because of jollof. So now I've restricted myself.
How much jollof have you been eating?
When you start eating jollof, you can't stop. I'm telling you now.
True.
Like Ghanaian jollof.
That's true.
I had Nigerian jollof.
He said Ghanaian jollof. Where are the Nigerians? He specified.
I don't want to get in trouble, but okay, I just had Nigerian jollof once. Okay, and then most of the time I work in Ghanaian establishments. So at this stage, my vote is 100% Ghanaian.
No, don't worry. You can be diplomatic, but we'll take our win. But this looks like a Ghanaian dish. I can't wait to taste it.
I think the marriage of this two is going to be absolutely spot on. Last thing that we need to do is that easy onion rings, remember?
Yes. So where do we begin?
Yeah, we still have the oil on there, so we don't want the oil to be too hot.
So for those who didn't join us from the beginning, the very first thing Chef did was to take these sliced onion rings. So your red onion, slice them into rounds, and then we have these rings. Okay, and then he poured soda water on them, which I had never seen happen before.
Really?
Until today.
Okay, so we're just going to drain the excess soda water. Obviously, I really like to use everything, but this...
this we can't.
You just throw it away.
Sometimes you just can't.
Okay. So we're gonna keep a little bit of it inside, just a little bit, and then we're gonna add a little bit of that nice chicken stock again on the onions. Just a little bit of it, just give it flavor.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfect. And then we're just gonna take off normal cake flour, put it over there. And if you're doing this for a large amount of people, you can actually use a plastic container and just give it a shake.
Okay.
But we're not making too much, and you're just gonna give it a nice little...
Okay, so we're trying to coat the rings.
Coat it, so that little bit of soda water that was
So what
left.
does the soda water do? Is that like a binding agent?
It's a binding agent, it's a raising agent, it's it's all about the carbs in it. Yeah, the carbon dioxide in it. And that's what you want. Easy as that. So obviously this is
So once you
vegetarian
have this
friendly.
combination, you don't need eggs, you don't need just this. That's it.
That's gonna make it beautiful
Wow.
and crispy.
Wow.
Just before,
That's amazing.
we're just gonna add a little bit of this. Remember that water?
All right, so
All
this
that
is the
little bit
beef
flavor.
stock, right?
Yes, that
So
we
we
add in
steam
the
the
beginning.
beef at the beginning before we
Yes,
go into
sorry.
making the
Let me
stew.
get that spoon
And so
there.
that is the beef stock that we just added.
Oh, just look at that.
Gorgeousness. All right, just look at that.
Look at that. I know you can add more herbs if you want to this. So
Okay.
if you want to do whatever you have in your garden, I'm always very pro herbs in your garden. Pick it up, and that's how you start discovering different flavors.
Right.
And you are so blessed in West Africa. I mean, like everything just grows here.
We are. Without us even trying.
Not yeah. It's
you know,
I'm so
without us even trying. Like there are so many things. Imagine my excitement when I discovered that what is the Jamaican national dish,
Yeah.
ackee and saltfish.
Yeah.
The ackee grows wild in Ghana, and young boys used it to play football in villages and towns.
Wow.
Like you're just kicking it on the road. We didn't know it was edible.
It's like coconuts.
Yeah, same with breadfruit.
Oh.
We had no idea. You know, we really need to start exporting ackee.
And cocoa yam, I've heard that's like very popular these
Yes,
days.
it is.
Yeah, and
And we
overseas,
eat it a lot.
I like it a lot. Yams.
Cocoyam chips. I've seen cocoyam chips in so many African and Caribbean stores abroad. They're making it into restaurants as chips on plates. It's amazing.
Amazing. Africa.
Africa.
That's
No,
it.
we need to talk more about
Yes.
this at the table because I'm sure you have a few ideas.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
You have traveled a lot as a chef, and I know you're going for the Culinary Olympics very soon.
Yeah.
I want to hear your take on what we should be doing as Africa.
I think that the most important thing that we need to just look at that little
Oh,
bit.
are those kitchen tweezers?
Yes, that's kitchen tweezers.
Only a chef.
No, like this
Only a chef would be carrying kitchen tweezers around. I mean, I see tweezers and I think eyebrows, facial hairs, eyelashes, but a chef has kitchen tweezers.
So this is one of my sous chefs, Bernard. He's behind the camera.
This is behind the camera.
Yeah, it's his
Hi,
tweezer.
sous chef. Thank you for bringing the tweezers.
Yeah, and I'm always joking with him. I'm like, no, why are you always walking around with tweezers? What are you doing with that? So, big ups to Bernard.
Chef Bernard.
Okay, there we go. And now we can just get our plate ready here to
Okay.
assemble our first one. Are we going to do like a party plate?
Okay.
Or what do you think?
Ooh, Christmas. I mean, it's Christmas. Christmas and party go hand in hand.
So
Okay.
let's do that. Okay. While
Alright.
waiting for that to crisp up a little bit, let's quickly do also, I mean, I can't come without having a drink, right?
You see, this is why I love you chefs.
We
You
just
bring the
need
magic through
to
and
have a
through.
drink. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say what's my favorite spirit.
No, of course, please go ahead. We want to hear it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Batash.
Hey! His favorite spirit. No, let's see. His favorite spirit is Akpeteshi.
It's beautiful. It's
is,
amazing.
it is.
It's amazing.
As
So
a proud Ghan woman, I'm
Yeah.
very proud to hear that.
it's so nice. So I'm just have a little bit. Unfortunately, the kitchen is a little bit hot, so it
Is
seems
that
like
pineapple?
our ice went. But
Okay.
you can obviously top it up with a lot.
So is that
So
pineapple?
Freshly
So it's
squeezed
like-
pineapple.
Okay. Pineapple.
There's
cherry.
also something different about Ghanaian pineapple. It's very sweet, extremely sweet. Our pineapple is a little bit more tart, you know,
interesting.
when you have a flavor.
That's very interesting.
Freshly squeezed ginger juice.
Okay, I see. You've learned the pineapple and ginger.
Love it, love it. I think that's the thing that I probably one of the top 5 things that I miss the most if I'm not in Ghana, because it's so expensive overseas. Ginger,
It is.
coconut, all those stuff.
Ginger is actually a luxury spice in most parts of the world.
Absolutely,
you know.
absolutely. We got some ginger ale
Okay.
in there.
It's a beautiful thing to try for Christmas.
Twig of fresh rosemary.
Okay. Oh, that's rosemary.
Yes, just to give it a nice stir. And then some bitters. You can do the traditional bitters that you guys have, the
Okay.
medicinal one.
Okay.
But this is not, this is the Acustra.
Okay.
So we just put a little bit of that in there.
Okay.
And then I'll top it with a little bit of that.
Yes, you know, behind the scenes, we'll do some other things. All right, so let's go for a break. I mean, we're pretty much done here. Our beef stew is ready. Our onion rings are almost done. We need to assemble these, but let's shake it up a bit. When we come back, before we sit down to eat, we'll assemble the food, you know, party style, and then we dig right into it. This is What's Cooking. We'll be right back. You're very welcome back to What's Cooking right here on City TV. My name is Apiorkor, and today my guest on the show is Chef Pieter Malan. He is the group chief chef of Fiesta Hotels and Residences here in Accra, Ghana. I mean, they have their tentacles all over the country, actually, you know, and great place to be. But Chef is no stranger, as I keep saying, to City TV. We see him on City TV's Breakfast Daily every now and then, doing very interesting things, sandwiches, and making your mouth water if you haven't had breakfast already and all that. And today, he's on What's Cooking with us. We have made a very simple dish. It's a very homely dish, as Chef describes it, and it's something that you can easily do for Christmas. Something different, something African, something South African and Ghanaian, and the ingredients that you can find at home, really. I mean, almost every Ghanaian home has, even if you don't have beef, there's a cold store down the road. You can go and get it, or somebody would have brought you some Christmas beef if you're lucky. Tomatoes, onions, garlic, pepper, what else? Tasty Tom. Tasty Tom. And I said Tasty Tom, you have to bring Chef Malan Tasty Tom jollof mix so you can take it back with him the next time he's going to South Africa for his family and his friends. Please, very important. And then we've made the Boflot, right? And also of course, we didn't make it here, but the process is very simple, right? You need flour.
It's flour, yeast, salt, and I mean, like there is some, we spoke about it, some deviations, and I think it's from family to family,
right?
So, because a lot of my chefs in the kitchen said, oh, my family adds nutmeg to it. We add a little bit of cinnamon to it. So everybody has their way of doing it, but the basics are the same, you know. And I even saw a recipe last night that had a little bit of yogurt or ghee that also goes into it. Yeah. So there is a lot of, but whatever how you make it.
Make it.
Yeah.
Or you can buy your Boflot.
Oh yeah.
You know, go to your favorite Boflot seller, cut the process short, and then you make your beef stew. And now what do we do? Because we need to assemble this.
So now we need to make the bunnychows.
The bunnychows.
Okay.
Yes.
So obviously clean hands, right?
Okay.
We're gonna make a little bit of a hole. Don't be afraid of using your hand.
Okay.
Okay. Just look at that nice fluffiness inside there. And I'm just gonna use the back of the spoon.
All right.
Open it up a little bit.
Oh, this is really a home dish.
Oh, absolutely a home dish. I mean, when we do it in the kitchen, it looks far more fancy if we're going to use a knife and all that. And then, the Ghanaian stew. My mouth is starting
to... Look at that.
It looks like a savory donut, right?
It does. Like I keep saying, an African pizza.
African pizza. And now we need to make it a little bit fancy, right?
Okay.
So that onions, remember we made that onions?
Yes, we did.
So Chef Bernard's little chefy.
What's cooking?
Oh Lord.
Wow.
Do we have another guest joining us?
You know, it's Christmas, I'll be nice. This is my neighbor. As you realized, he doesn't join us when we're doing the cooking. He doesn't help with the shopping. He doesn't contribute any money. But he shows up to eat. And to add insult to injury, with all the audacity, he grades the food.
Oh, okay.
You have to be very generous.
That's why I said it's Christmas.
Yes,
so me, I'm being nice.
So Santa Apiorkor. Yeah.
But just look at that.
This is gorgeous.
No. So what are you putting Froyer in the tobe?
Exactly.
Hey.
That is it. So in Ga, you know, I mean, I'm Ga. I don't know what he is. I think he's Ga too.
I'm Ganish.
You're Ganish.
Yes.
Ga and Danish. Danish Ga.
Yes.
We call Boflot tobe.
So, oh,
Yes.
I've heard
Yeah.
what it really means.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
We're not going to repeat this.
No,
Daytime TV.
not in English.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
okay in Ghana.
No, then you have to do the same thing for me. What?
But how can you come and
I
get
don't.
served before me?
No. Can I start?
You don't even ask me what it is.
There's ginger in it.
Yes, so fresh pineapple juice, fresh ginger juice, so squeezed, blended. There's ginger ale as well. Yes, a little bit of bitters, our local bitters.
Bitters.
Yes, and then garnished with fresh rosemary.
Wow.
That's right, chef.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, there are also secret ingredients which I will not mention on TV,
Maybe he's going to like the secret ingredient.
but you will like it.
I have to like it.
This is so
I have to
pretty.
like it.
Okay, so you're chefing it up.
I'm chefing it up for you. There you
At
go.
least it's Christmas. Add some color to your plate.
Boflot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this is gravy or what?
It's Ghanaian beef stew.
Ghanaian beef stew.
Yeah, the beefy stew.
If the togbe is on, you can add rice.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
Or jollof.
Or jollof.
Jollof.
Banku.
Banku.
Hey,
Yes.
that would be heavy.
Nice.
Or komi. You know, so long ago, my aunties told me that when it's Christmas night, you finish cooking, you clean your hand. Always make sure you have komi, you have kinky, so that the leftover stew,
You
you don't
apply
now
it.
have to go and look for food to cook. You take the kinky, you take the stew, and that's it. End of
Oh.
story.
Then you apply it.
That's Christmas komi.
Yes.
Bronya komi.
There you
Thank
go.
you, chef.
And then we can obviously, if you
Alright,
have, you can do a few of them like on a party
Chef
plate.
Bernard.
Bernard, yes, Bernard with his
Chef
tweezers.
Bernard is the one who always has the tweezers.
Yeah,
Chef Malan mentioned
he has a
this
little
earlier.
space for there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is yours.
Thank you
So
so
chef,
much.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, we hear sous chef, executive chef, head chef. Oh, what are the different kinds of chefs? And you know,
So-
and I guess you're wearing black.
Yes,
So that
yes.
means that you're quite senior in the chef world.
Yeah, in the chef world, we actually have a. No, I'm going to tell you something about the black. Just because we're family now.
This is really good.
Do you like it? I'm wearing
Yeah.
black because it hides the fluffiness a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. No.
So you're watching your figure.
You're watching my figure. No, I'm joking. So traditionally we're very pro white jackets these days in the kitchens. Bring back the white is a world chef's movement
Okay.
to say that we need to stay true to the chef white jacket and the power in it. Normally your ranks will be defined by the colored buttons that you have and then your stripes on the jacket. Your most senior position is your executive chef or group executive chef. That group executive chef, what I am, is look over a couple of outlets.
Okay.
And then you have your executive chef in each outlet that's responsible for it. And then directly under your executive chef, you have your captains under the general, and you call them sous chefs. And they are can either be multi-disciplined, so in a cold kitchen, hot kitchen, or they can only specialize in pastries, dessert.
Okay.
And then underneath them we have CDP or chef de partie. Chef de partie translates directly from French as head of section, and they are in charge of a certain part of the kitchen. So they will either only do meat or only fish or only chicken or only pastries and that type of stuff. And then our little interns or our little kitchen bunnies are called commis chefs, and they are the newbies, the babies that just comes into the kitchen, and we need to nourish the commis
Like in
chefs.
Ghana, say they're apprentices.
Yeah, apprentices, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we need to nourish them until they get. And then I always say the most important person in the kitchen that never get recognized is the stewards, the dishwashers, the people cleaning behind the rock stars.
Especially in a restaurant.
Oh,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because you can't, if you don't have plates to serve
So
on,
what's this?
you know.
Oh.
You're not even all the things that we said.
I like
you're
the way
thinking
that he's
about
like
the food.
holding. What's this?
Please,
That's a microwave.
in 2024, you have to change.
If it will nourish me, can I eat
It's
it?
nourished. It's
No, it's right. It
full.
will nourish you.
It's freshly harvested just for you today.
You love it. For that.
What's this made of?
That's
I
a
see onion.
crispy onion ring. Yeah.
Okay, crispy.
But you need to take all of it together and then
Together.
yes.
Okay, so here I am deconstructing.
That is a
it.
bunnychow, like
Okay,
right?
so-
Cheers.
Alright, cheers.
Do that like that.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.
You
Cheers.
first.
And
You.
that's a bunnychow, right?
bunnychow.
That's a bunnychow. Now
Okay.
take all of it in.
All of it.
Yeah, take a nice.
Hey.
Oh my god.
Yeah, though.
Oh, wow.
I'm looking at your neighbor.
I can't even talk. This is really good. Like, who? No. Who would I? No, okay, so let's backtrack. What made you think that it would be a great idea to do this spin specifically with Boflot?
I mean, just because we have something similar in South Africa called amagwinya or fat cook, mafati, and the fat cook is normally, we do a savory mince curry filling that goes inside it. And I was like, why not? I mean, like it's the same ingredients that you find here, but let's just twist it up. And then the idea of the bunnychow is obviously stuffing it in the middle and eating it like that. So
I love it. I love it.
That's it.
Let's talk a little bit about this. You know, there have been lots of conversations globally about food elevation and making sure that we're getting underrepresented flavors into the biggest culinary spaces in the world and all that. And of course, a lot of underrepresentation is African.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? And I know that, again, you've cooked in many different parts of the world, experienced many different flavors, cultural flavors. What's your take on that?
I think it's like we have a saying in South Africa that says kinako, and kinako means it's time. It's time that we are fearless about our flavors. We are boldly about it, but we need to understand that for us to stand our feet, we need to look at what the world is doing, and we need to say that we can do it better with more flavor. And that is, and honestly speaking, I mean, I'm competing in the Olympics now. We talk about it in February, and my menu is West African, 100%. I mean, the cooking methods is European, but all the flavors that I'm showcasing there is loud and proud and bold. And I think sometimes European and American people are maybe scared of those bold flavors. So we need to start introducing it. I mean, the first time we were talking
acquired
about
taste.
Exactly.
So if they don't know them,
you
they
don't
can't
know
appreciate them.
You won't know it. If you haven't tasted shito for the first time, like how can you negatively judge it, or how can you look at it as a poor man's food, or like something that's unappreciated? Because it's something that needs to be elevated. And where we're looking at where the world are standing globally, we need to look at more sustainable ways of getting food out there. And why can you look at African food? Look at West African food globally. Look at the food here that is being sold on the street every day, day in, day out, at your home and what. It's affordable. Yeah. You can feed nations with it. And why don't we start cultivating and
food.
Absolutely, it's homey. There's I mean, you get your banku and tilapia express takeaway shops next to the road. You won't find it anywhere else in the world. It's homely food that is cooked. You know, we need to stand our stand, say we're proud of this, and minimize Western influence in terms of fast food franchises and stuff that comes in here, and we need to start focusing on these flavors and introduce it to the rest of the world. And I'm proudly going to do that at the IKA. Yeah.
I mean, that looks so brilliant. I know that, let's talk a little bit about the Culinary Olympics. When you're going in, you have a coach. I mean, you literally prepare just like an athlete prepares to enter the Olympics. Or we have the City Business Olympics, just like how corporate entities prepare to come and compete. What does it take?
I mean, first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to Fiesta Hotels and Residences. You know, my directors and the management was so supportive of it when I said I wanted to compete in the Olympics this year. And I mean, where I'm at my age bracket, it's something that you really need to do now to give over the experience to the next generation. If Africans are not going to do it, then how are we going to give it over to fellow Africans? And when I said I want to do this, they said, okay, but go and showcase African. I'm like, oh, that you are talking my language. That's what I want to do. And the logistics behind it is quite a lot. It's not as easy as just going there and showcasing. I mean, we're talking about a lot of money being spent in research of development of recipes, the transport of this ingredients to Germany, where it's hosted this year, or this coming 2024, early in February. I mean, I'm taking 90% of my ingredients from Ghana over to Germany to go and compete there.
Wow.
Because where am I going to get a plantain in
No,
Germany?
no.
Like I won't be
A
able to get it
Ghanaian
there.
plantain, for that matter.
So and obviously you have coaches, you have people that competed in the Olympics before. They give you the insight and the info on it, and you have to be humble towards this elders, but we also need to understand that our time has come now. So we need to take this advice and we need to apply it into the future and set the way for the future chefs. I said to my chefs, the day when I'm Ghanaian in Ghana, I would like to see you guys being at the next Olympics 4 years from now. Yeah. Send the Ghanaian team to IKA, go and showcase this. But if we're not going to start from ourselves, forcing us to go and thinking of it's such a big challenge, and how can we stand against these European countries that's always the top 10, top 20 countries of the Olympics? We need to start somewhere. We just need to show up. And I'm going loud and proud with a Ghanaian flag on the one side and a South African flag.
I love it. I love it. I mean, so in developing these recipes, I mean, is this something that the Olympics has seen before? What you're going to do? Indeed, has there been any African dish prepared at the Olympics before?
So, your big influence, South Africa has a very rich culture in the culinary Olympics, and that's because of late Dr. Billy Gallagher, that was initially brought into Africa many years ago by Saul Kisner of Sun International to actually start bringing skills in for hotels and hotel developments. If you can, that was in the early 1970s, 1980s, and they were already quite trained and developed in competing in the Olympics in Germany. So they brought it to South Africa and they started sending teams from the early 80s to go and compete in it. The one thing about it I love Dr. Billy Gallagher and late Dr. Billy Gallagher. I had a couple of teachings of him in the past, but one thing about them, they were people brought in with existing experience, bringing in European and Western food into Africa, taking that back to the Olympics to go and compete. So the South African culinary team has changed it over the past few years, where they've said, okay, let's start showcasing African flavors, but keep the European cooking techniques. Okay. And unfortunately, this year with this Olympics in 2024, South Africa won't be sending an Olympic team, and that's just because of a pure funding process. So there's a lot of, we can talk ages about this, but if we need to look at where do we need to start changing this, we need to start looking at African tourism. Food is a big part of it. Start empowering chefs that they can go and compete on European stages, on American stages, and give them the skills and the coaching and the mentorship to be able to do this. Where I'm sitting now, it was always my dream to go and compete in the Olympics, but we didn't have a team this year. But I had to speak to my company, I had to speak to my senior management and said, I qualified, I need to go. And I said, but you're going to go without a team, are you willing to do this? And I said, yes, I am willing to do this, because who's going to give that experience to the next people? Who's going to tell them that this is the do's and the don'ts? This is what you need to go and do and showcase outside there. And have you ever watched that? I'm sure you've watched that movie. It's one of my favorite movies about the Jamaican snow slating, cool running. I said to my team, I'm like, guys, if I can see a Ghanaian team at the IKA Olympics on the top 3 in 4 years from now, 2028, that will be the cool running story. And we can do it. We can do it. Yeah.
Great.
Brilliant.
Great. That's great. Good to hear.
Why, you want to go and taste all the food?
Is there a slot for taster?
There's no jollof and wachi there.
No. I'll taste everything.
No, but it's a brilliant initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I love the passion that you bring to your work.
Thank you.
I love the African mindedness that you bring to your work and the Pan-African spirit that you bring to it as well. And we'll be following you. I know there's a lot happening between now and when you actually have to leave for the Olympics, but we'll follow you and give you all the support we can from afar.
Thank you very much.
We love it. And thank you for this.
My pleasure.
Ghanaian Bunnychow. Like, I would never have thought to combine beef stew with Boflot.
There's always a first. And that's why with this you are numero uno.
Thank you.
And I think it's
I think
a wonderful thing to try during the Christmas season. It's very simple. Like I said, if you can't even make the Boflot, buy from your favorite Boflot seller. We all have that one, or we know where to find one. And then make your Ghanaian beef stew. Very simple. Chef has done his magic on it, but your beef stew at home is just as good. Invite people over and then have fun with it. The onion rings too. Soda water and flour. That's all we used.
That's nice. That's nice.
Soda water, flour, and then of course you dip the onions in there and you fry it. Very simple. And this is not an expensive meal. So it's a type of meal. If you have 15 family members coming over, everybody should come and assemble their bunnychow.
Exactly. It's self-help moms off.
I tell you. Yeah, self-help moms off. Like it. Thank you so much.
Thank
Chef.
you, my friend.
It's
It was
been
such a pleasure being here.
You
Thank you
too.
so much.
We've been wanting to do this for a while. I think this is the perfect opportunity.
I'm gonna go watch tonight Kring in 'n Bos.
Yes.
You brought back that memories, school memories. Yeah.
I'm glad.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad. Thank you. And I will go find the movies for the two books that we spoke about.
Fiesta Hotels.
Yes, Fiesta Hotels Child in English. And I'm happy that I was able to awaken your memories. It shows that we're all one people, right?
Absolutely.
We're all one people. Our stories are one, even in their multiplicity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you really much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I've been cooking today with Chef Pieter Malan. He's the group executive chef, the chief chef at Fiesta Hotels and Residences here in Ghana. And I mean, anybody who does anything with passion is almost impossible for the person to fail at what they do. And I think Chef is a great example of that. So he brought Christmas to the kitchen. He brought a meal that we can try at home for the holiday, but he also brought a lot for us to think about as Africans, when it comes to our culture, when it comes to our food, culinary culture, our culinary art, and how we should be looking within to beef up our economy for food security. But more importantly, I mean, if people know your food abroad, they need to get the ingredients to make it.
Yeah.
And so you can export more to places. Like there's a whole chain of things, right? So thank you, Chef, for giving us something to think about this Christmas. Hopefully in 2024 and beyond, we'll act on some of these things. And remember that you heard it here first with Chef Pieter Malan on What's Cooking on City TV. My name is Apiorkor. Merry Christmas. Continue to enjoy the holidays and all that we have to offer you here at City TV and City FM.